It's been half a decade since his tragic passing, and I'm afraid that the world may have forgotten him already. When we look at the state of hip-hop, X would have turned the big 3 to the big 4.
Motherfuck the big 3, nigga, it's just big me, nigga, boom!
And would have been the up-and-coming star that the game needs right now. From his untimely death to being ingrained as a legend, let's go back and revisit the unique mind and lost soul.
XXXTentacion.
We unfortunately live in a time where death can make you a legend. We see numbers skyrocket as soon as an artist passes away, and we see the industry capitalize as much as they can off of this incident. X's debut album sold 87,000 his first week in 2017. Almost a year later, when he passes away in 2018, less than 2 months after being killed, his album goes platinum. And 3 months after this, his first posthumous album, Skins, sells 132,000 in its first week. In the same year, X became the first artist to have a posthumous #1 song since Biggie in 1997. And it's been happening since the 90s, with Tupac and Biggie, to even more recent years, Rich Homie Quan, Pop Smoke, Lil Peep. And I respect Rich Homie Quan as an artist, but I was never recommended his music until after he passed. The posthumous, whatever that word is, spike sales are no accident. This is because nostalgia sells. We see fans running to go stream their music. Labels are making albums out of unreleased songs as quickly as they can, and they cover it as a way to remember the artists. Now, with many of these artists, I truly believe they were already legends in the making, but with them dying at such a young age, we never really got to see their full potential.
They have this facade that everybody thinks it is X per se, but behind this facade there's a whole different person. Jahseh was weak. X is the complete opposite. Before now, nobody gave a fuck about whether my emotions were perfectly intact. Nobody gave a fuck about how I felt. Now my opinion is respected.
This sparks an intriguing conversation. Fans are worshipping the personas that these celebrities are giving off and aren't able to separate the art from the artist. Jahseh was just a troubled kid from Florida, but in his passing, X became one of the biggest artists of his era. The world becomes remiss with the idea of something that is no longer here. The heart grows fonder in absence. Let's start to give roses while the ones are still here to appreciate them, not just with people we admire, but those close to us and in our communities. Death shouldn't be the only reason why you receive your flowers.
So the whole point is the appreciation. I appreciate the fact that I'm getting more appreciation for my work and my soul in itself. I live for it. That's why I'm still alive. I would have been dead long ago if I wasn't appreciated by him.
They feel it get numb. You think you got a little buzz, so now you can't get stoned.
When we look at the state of hip-hop and we look for the next big star, it raises a question. Who is the next person on the come-up? The way that X was able to blend genres with rap, R&B, the way that he cared for his craft, and the way that he was able to cultivate a fan base, there's no doubt in my mind that I believe that he was this missing piece and would have been the solution to the problem. Now, we can have the argument about him not being able to stay out of trouble, but if we're just talking strictly music, X had something special.
What I'll do is like I'll try and mix multiple aspects into it. So like I'll go from like literally like a melancholy indie sound of rock to like a very trap element or like a trap rock element. Then I'll go to like completely like some other shit, like some jazz, like smooth going shit. You feel me? Like I'll try and literally mix in as many aspects as I can. Like me, like I try and do everything type shit. You feel me? Like and like it's just versatility.
To me, versatility and knowing how to adapt is one of the biggest things that you can have as an artist. This is what keeps you relevant. Earlier I stated that death can make you a legend, but you have to possess some type of talent to even be recognized. With a lot of artists in their rise to fame, the music that they make now and the music that they started with shouldn't sound the same. And I know the nostalgia of wanting the old version of an artist plays a factor, but an artist should evolve with his art. I'm not gonna name names, but your favorite artist, is afraid to try something different because the same flow and the same sound pays the bills. Now, there is possibly an artist that is being overlooked that is the next to take the throne, but I just don't see it. Who do you think is or could have been the next name in hip hop? Let me know in the comments who you think that could have been. I think we appreciate Drake, Cole, and K-Dot because of how much they've grown with the times, but they've also grown with their music. So we have the different eras of Drake, and on each album we can feel something different. Tory Lanez might not be a name you want to hear, but him dropping an album inspired by 80s music is just straight up unique. And we being honest, your favorite artist could never.
Yeah.
X said it himself. He built a cult-like fan base. And the biggest thing that you can have with another human being is the connections that we make through being relatable. In an era where mental health and mental illness is talked about more and it's more common, X was able to grow a fan base by expressing his pain and struggles.
What you can expect from the next fan is that they're gonna have my back no matter what. Cause it's like having the best friend ever. That's what my fans are. They're my friends. So when I'm going through a horrible fucking day, a real fan is gonna be like, yo, X, what's wrong? I'm here for you. Don't let this shit push you over the edge. Don't let your anger take control. Don't let your sadness take control. I'm here for you. Don't forget what we're in this for. A real X fan is gonna remind me. A real X fan is gonna be there for me. A real X fan doesn't want a single fucking thing from me because I'm already doing enough by making all this music.
What was your reaction on the day that he passed, and how did you react to the news?
I remember the day very well. So I don't remember what time, but I know it was a little bit early on in the day. I was getting on the game to play the game with some of my homies, and my friend Josh was like, "Oh, I think X passed away." And during the time, this was when I wasn't like a true fan yet of X, but I was listening to him a lot. So I don't want to say like I started listening to him after he died, but I wasn't a true fan yet. But it kind of shocked me because I was really liking to get to know and listen to his music, and I've been planning on going to a concert that he had. Well, I don't know if you have one going on that year, but I plan on going to one sometime soon. But I wouldn't say it made me sad. I mean, later on, yeah, when I listened to him more, but during the time, it was like, dang, like, another artist that's very young. So I wouldn't say it had a big impact on me, but it started having an impact on me more when I listened to him later on, and I realized, like, dang, like, this man was, like, my age and, like,
Yeah,
passed away that early. With the son on the way, too.
yeah.
And literally taking over the music industry.
Him being 20 years old is, I don't think people realize that nigga was still like a kid for real.
Yep.
Second question. What is your favorite song and why?
I don't want to do this anymore. I say that's my favorite song. During the time, I was a big little X fan, and you can kind of say, I guess I was like in my feelings during that time, so that song really like helped me out a lot. Um, I had it on repeat for a good bit, but I don't really listen to it as much as I used to, as I did in high school. But I would definitely say that's my favorite song from X.
What about X do you think made him so impactful?
The way he carried himself, and the reason I say that, like, did he talk about crazy things? Absolutely. Did he
Did
seem
he
like a
do
crazy
crazy?
person? Yeah,
Yeah.
he did crazy stuff too. But at the end of the day, he was a genuine person with how he was with people and what he did for his community. Just him being himself overall. And his music, too, because, that plays a big role in having other people, relate to the songs and everything. But I would say just him being him. Like, he didn't care what nobody said. He did what he loves. He did crazy things. But overall, with him being a genuine person, like, I felt like that was a big thing.
Okay, last question. What made you a fan of his music, and how did you find out about his music?
I would definitely say one of my homeboys from back then. His name was T. He would play this man 24/7, and I guess sooner or later it just It just caught on to me. But I'd have to say from one of my friends. But just me listening to him more overall after that also grew that. What was the second part?
What made you a fan of his music? For me, I ain't gonna lie, it was when I listened to 17, like I think
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, like the full length album, and I realized how much he like cared about his craft and how he took time to actually make music that connects to other people, and just talking about things that he's going through and stuff like that. And I was like, the way he spinning these melodies together and
Yeah.
cares about his craft and intention behind his music. I ain't gonna lie, that's when I was like, yeah, I fuck with this.
I think the attention is a big thing because how I don't want to use YoungBoy for example, but I always wonder why so many people listen to YoungBoy, and I like try to be like, oh, let me give it a try, see, but I couldn't do it. And I also wonder the same thing with X, and I was like, bro, why is everybody listening to this man? All they do is yell and all this type of stuff. But when you actually listen to his music, it's like his other music is like a whole different side. And I would say me just trying to see why everybody else listens to him so much gave me a reason to be like, oh, let me check this out. Let me see why people like this. And I guess that reeled me in on trying to see why everybody else liked them. So seeing that made me like him even more too.
Yeah, I think I was kind of the same way. I was hearing a lot of people talk about him, and this nigga was just screaming and cursing and stuff. And I'm like, nah, that ain't it, bro.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to 17, I was like, this nigga singing? It's R&B. And I was like, oh, nah, that's my field right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your time, man.
No problem.
There's two types of people, or supporters or fans in music. There are the people that abide by everything that the artist does and fully worships that person because there is not a lot to look forward to in life, and there is not a lot to be inspired by in life. I always still do and always will reach out to my fans when they're on the edge or when they're going through something, and I talk to them and I'd help, give them money. I mean, be there for them, call them, FaceTime them, go to their houses. Small things, very small things that other artists don't do and take the time out of their day to do. That was what was significant about me, what was special about me, and that's why they became so obsessed.
Oh my, it's literally XXXTentacion. Oh my god. Wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Nah, Shorty was glazing. The most important thing that X left behind wasn't his music, but the foundation of his legacy. His son, who turned 5 years old this year. Although they'll never be able to meet, he'll be able to see how big of an artist his father really was, and how much his music impacted others.
To Jahseh, I used to think, where did I go wrong in a past life when I lost you? Now all I can think about is you and I must have done something right to create such a divine being. Gekyum. I had a vivid vision of you, physically there with us, celebrating Gek's second birthday. Everyone laughing, smiling, all together. He's getting so big, it's crazy. To think he's about to be 2, how time is passing. He's so grown, saying words, Mama, Papa. When he sees your photos, it's a bittersweet moment for me every time. He's so handsome and has so much personality, super intelligent, bubbly, and full of energy. I can't with his little attitude, just like yours. Thank you for making me the mother I am today. I will love and nurture this child to the end.
X was only 20 years old, but lived a very controversial and troubled life. From allegations, to cases, to multiple lockups, to fights. Not excusing any of the actions that he did, but his recklessness and his reckless lifestyle probably sparked from coming from an abusive household, stacked with traumatic childhood experiences. The older he got, the more we did start to see a change and transformation in certain areas of his life. We see him using his pain to alleviate others of their own. And outside of the chaos X had a brilliant mind. X was able to speak on mental health and mental illness, anxiety, relationships, and spoke about his own pains and struggles, and spoke his emotions into music. And hey, no glaze. His debut album, 17, amazing. In a space and time where raw, vulnerable, and honest feelings are rarely expressed, at least in a productive manner, we truly entered the mind of someone who looked past the surface level of day-to-day life.
This is what I want people to know. The whole point of the human race and the human mind in itself is evolution. Whether it's evolution spiritually, physically, period. Evolution. The purpose from birth is creation. That's all humans do. Everything around you was created. If you're not evolving, you're doing something wrong. So anything that takes away the power of your mind is keeping you still. Study your laws of the universe. The law of attraction, the law of abundance, the law of equivalent exchange. Study your laws. Dwell into your mind, meditate.
Whether good or bad, he left an impact in such a short amount of time that some people waste an entire lifetime trying to achieve. With the mark made in the world and his actions left in the past, have you forgotten the life of
Jahseh, Dwayne, Ricardo, on Freud.